do, and they still might die. But we do know for certain that if they do not win today, they are almost definitely handing the title to Barcelona. How painful that would be for Real Madrid to lose that here.
There you have the statistics in front of you. Madrid actually got that the wrong way around. Madrid are not first. In fact, everything's the wrong way around there. Where it says Madrid first, that should mean Barcelona. Barcelona are first, let me assure you, if you've suddenly woken up and think it's a bad dream. Barca on top of the league, 69 points. Madrid are second with 60 points. Okay, Madrid, if they win this game, will be 6 points behind Barcelona in the run-in. Madrid have got a slightly easier run-in, perhaps, to the end of the season. Barca have got to go to places like Valencia. Madrid next week are going to Levante. If they win this, though, it's not just about the points, is it? It's about the morale boost. It's about the damage to the morale. Yeah,
it's about the psychological battle, exactly, because after this game, there'll be 7 games left. Even if Real Madrid do win, they'll be 6 points down. And, of course, not only 6 points, but possibly 6 points plus goal difference, because at the end of the season, head-to-head is what matters. Barcelona won 3-0 at the Camp Nou. Madrid could do with winning, and winning by 3-0 or more.
You may remember that classic, the first classic of the season that we brought you just before Christmas. I think it was the 21st of November in the Camp Nou Stadium. Barcelona beat Real Madrid 3-0. Samuel Eto'o opened the scoring, basically making a fool out of Roberto Carlos on the day. 3-0 basically means that if Madrid do not win by at least 3 goals today, although they're 6 points behind, it may as well be 7.
Yeah, exactly. They need to make up 7 points in 7 games, which fairly obviously means, if we work out the math, that they will need to claw back points on Real Madrid in 3 of the 7 remaining games. They'll need to claw back 2 wins when Barcelona don't win anything, and a draw when Barcelona don't win anything. So, of course, it's tough for Madrid even if they win tonight, but this really is it's a last chance for them. It's
the be-all and the end. I mean, everyone's trying to say, the Madrid people in the press conferences during the week, they've been trying to say, well, if we don't win, it's not the end of the league. The Barcelona trainer and the players, they've been trying to say the same thing, but I think basically deep down, everybody knows Madrid don't win today. It would need a miracle for them to...
Yeah, it really would be a miracle.
It really would.
It really would be a miracle.
We've got Andres Iniesta in the Barca starting lineup. Must remember, of course, Deco picked up his 5th booking of the season against Betis last week. He's not playing tonight. He's replaced by Iniesta. The good news for Barca is that Marquez is back in the side. Here is the Barca lineup, in fact. Victor Valdés, Belletti, Marquez, who will play the holding role that was so missing last week against Betis. Carles Puyol, who is back as well. He's been working double time to recover from a twisted ankle. Xavi, Juli, I'm sure in Barcelona will be hoping he's a little bit more on form this week. Samuel Eto'o, who tends to take Madrid apart here. Ronaldinho, Iniesta, and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and Oliver in defence.
Yeah. And as you say, I mean, it's not just that Marquez back this week, but also that all week there's been a big question mark hanging over. Ronaldinho has had gastroenteritis, and Puyol had a foot injury. Both of them have made it. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Puyol's completely fit, particularly with someone as quick as Michael Owen running at him, and that's the big change in the Real Madrid team.
Michael Owen in the starting lineup for Real Madrid, exactly. The person to lose out is not Raul, it is not Ronaldo, it is in fact Luis Figo, the former Barca player, who is going to be starting this game from the bench, and the game has in fact kicked off, as you may have seen a couple of minutes ago. Here is Michael Owen, showing that little turn of speed. He seems to be playing more on the right-hand side there, Owen, who has the 2nd best goals per minute scoring record in La Liga. And who's got the best one? Samuel Eto'o. 1 goal every 120 minutes, averages Eto'o, as there Giovanni in hard there to clear the ball.
It's the first time.
Salgado hanging cross there. Belletti not judging that one particularly well. Zidane getting a foot on it or a back on it, and Giovanni seeing that ball out for a Barcelona throw-in.
I was going to say that it's the first time that Luis Figo has been left out of the Real Madrid side since he joined them from Barcelona, of course, 5 years ago. It's a huge decision, particularly at a club where things are so political. You do wonder what might be behind it, and I think the speculation, the very strong speculation in Madrid, is that this is an early sign that Luis Figo will be out of this.
Exactly, 32-year-old Luis Figo. He's got a contract for the rest of this season and next season, but the normal thing is that by now, if Madrid had wanted him to stay on, they would have renewed that contract. They haven't done that. There's Ronaldo looking to surge through the middle. Bright start this from Madrid. Here's David Beckham going to pick the ball up, carrying it into space. Looks up, the England captain Kel's a decent cross in there! Well, still not gone out, and Valdés, what was that from Valdés? Goodness gracious! Crowd behind the goal are asking for handball.
a superb cross from David Beckham. I'm not sure what Valdez was doing here.
The word fun. And finally Valdez able to pick the ball up there. So bright start from Madrid. Here comes Beckham again, looking to impose themselves on this game right from the start. The side that is second in the Primera Liga. Is it Roberto Carlos? Back to Ronaldo. Well, now he's got his own private dietitian at Real Madrid. Samuel Eto'o. In hard there, Elguera.
Well, it's not actually Ronaldo's weight that's been the problem. He has been fairly big most of the season, but it's actually when he's looked slimmer that he's failed to score goals. There's a few people telling him to get back in the hamburgers.
I don't think he needs any second invitation on that, basically. Very quickly, I'll give you the Madrid lineup. It hasn't popped up on screen for you, but just so you know who's playing, it's basically the full side. As we say, Owen in the team. It's Casillas in goal, Salgado, Roberto Carlos, Elguera, Paco Pavón in for the suspended Walter Samuel. In midfield, Gravesen, Beckham, Zidane and Raul playing a diamond formation up front. As we said, Michael Owen and the big lad Ronaldo. 12 goals for Ronaldo this season, which basically means a little bit of a disappointment for him. Ooh, Raul just getting caught there by Puyol. Referee Ramirez Dominguez. Over quickly. Wee, flash of heads there. Yeah, that will hurt. A little bit late there, Puyol, actually.
Well, it wasn't just that Puyol was late. I think it was Belletti let the ball run in the first place, and there just seemed to be a slowness of reaction as much as anything else. And Barca have started very sluggishly.
Oof, Barcelona, who won this game. This is a great ball in there from Beckham, but the ball hangs in there, and it's a nasty one for Valdez. But
I wonder if Valdez would maybe push, because it seemed to lurch backwards when he went up for that.
The thing is, the goalkeeper there shouldn't be patting the ball back into the middle of his goal. He should be tipping that one over the bar for a corner. Safety first.
Absolutely.
You saw my goalkeeping on Friday night, Sid.
Do as he says, not as he does.
None of the great coaches were great players.
I'm sure I can come up with a few examples that were. But anyway, let's get on with Real Madrid and Barcelona. Real Madrid.
He certainly isn't he? A real smack above the eyelid there.
Barca looked very, very sluggish, and interesting, they looked very open in the back.
Well, they looked open last week, didn't they, as well, against Betis, up to that 3-3 draw. Goodness gracious, those of you who saw the game on World Sport last week, most of you probably thought that second one wasn't second penalty for Barca wasn't a penalty. The reception the referee Pino Zamorano got in the Madrid papers on Monday morning was unbelievable. Basically, the Madrid press have been talking about the league being fixed in Barcelona's favour for the last 5 days. Be interesting to see how much effect that has on Mr. Ramirez Dominguez.
Well, he's certainly under a lot of pressure, and he knows that everything he does will be watched.
Roberto Carlos taking the free kick over the bar.
Not just over the bar. That's cleared that first little bit of the stand, went over the barrier. That's a dreadful free kick from Roberto Carlos.
It's a power. Back to Mr. Ramirez Dominguez, the referee. I was looking at his stats, and he's been a good referee for both of these teams, actually. He's refereed Madrid on 9 occasions. Raul's still getting some treatment. Must have got a little cut there. 9 occasions he's refereed Real Madrid. They've won 8 and drawn 1, which isn't bad. You wouldn't moan about that. He's refereed Barca 8 occasions. They've won 5, drawn 3 and lost 1. So you can't say he's a referee who's particularly been harmful to the interests of either of the two. Obviously, depending on his performance today, that will depend on what the press say. Gravesen. Back to Francisco Paco Pavón, who's getting a rare start today because of the suspension to Walter Samuel. A pretty needless suspension he picked up last week as they won 2-1 in Albacete. And Albacete lost 2-1 to Getafe today. Roberto Carlos, that's a good cross there. Giovanni not dealing with that one properly. The ball's still in there. Michael Owen with his new boots on, curling that one across. There's the goal!
Zidane.
It's Zinedine Zidane!
Well, Barcelona have started. They look really ropey right from the very start. Zidane hurt himself on the post, I think, but he was so open on the far post.
Well, exactly. 6 minutes down. Zidane making it 1-0 for Madrid, and that's exactly what the home fans will have been looking for. Ronaldo puts it across. There he is, but slides in completely unmarked.
Yeah, totally unmarked.
Completely yards and yards of space inside the 6-yard box.
Good finish. Ooh, I tell you, I think that might be his head on the post. Oof.
Well, he's just down at the side of the goal. He's on his feet, actually. I mean, you're looking at that, there he is. Mr. Hernandez, Dr. Juan Carlos Hernandez, he's certainly
he's had a busy start.
He's had a busy start to the game, hasn't he?
It's a great goal, but Barcelona are all over the place.
Certainly not woken up yet, Barca. Here's Belletti, though, looking to find a bit of space. Oh dear, talking of all over the place there. Pavon wasn't at his best in the middle, but fortunately for Madrid, neither was Samuel Eto'o. It's Beckham. That's exactly what Madrid would have wanted. Michel Salgado steaming forward, this time blocked by Giovanni. Ronaldinho. Late challenge there on Ronaldinho, and Salgado completely.
Well, Salgado said before the game, as you've probably seen in our programme, that this was like a war. He's taken it very seriously. Just walk
just can't walk on the pitch.
Oh, right next to the guy who's got the ball as well.
I remember a game last season, a player who did that.
Got booked yesterday, wasn't it?
Yesterday, yeah. Of course, he doesn't take a run the pitch yet. Yesterday, the Athletic Bilbao midfielders got another cracking free kick, actually, as Athletic beat their local rivals Real Sociedad 3-0. Just give them a glimmer of a hope of qualifying for Europe. Giovanni.
It is only a glimmer, though, isn't it?
When there's a will. Ronaldinho's really got to pull something out of the hat today. Ronaldinho gets the good decent ball to Giovanni. Gets the rebound, Van Bronckhorst looks up, nobody in the middle though. Roberto Carlos able to clear that one. Helped on by Raul. No win for Barca. Xavi. Ball back to Valdez.
One of the important things, obviously, we're already seeing it, and I think that goal's going to make a real difference as well, because the fans have reacted to it. There's very definitely a pride issue going on with Real Madrid, isn't there? It's not just about winning this game and what it means for the league. It's about not letting the league go to Barcelona here. And what that would
well, if they lost today, they would end up 12 points behind them. At least if you beat Barcelona at home in front of your fans, you salvage something from the season. I still think 6 points is a lot to make up in 7 weeks against a team like Barcelona with players like Marquez firing well wide there, the Mexican.
Should have carried on, you know. Yes. He really should have carried on.
He had space, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a great pass from Belletti, I think it was. And he just hit it far too early and stuffed it.
He's got a good shot as well, Marquez, has to be said. He is someone able to really give the ball a good clatter when he needs to.
It's rare to see him that far forward, actually. He's the holding player in midfield. It's very rare.
Scored a few goals from corners, though.
Yeah, he scores. He's very dangerous from set plays.
Him and Elguera, Madrid defender Ivan Elguera, definitely plays to watch from set pieces. Andres Iniesta in for Deco. Good playmaker Iniesta, but they just lose that little bit of battling potential in midfield. Here's Ronaldinho. They lost £4, they reckon, through his gastroenteritis. Done well there, caught by Gravesen, and the referee giving the free kick.
I think he was caught by Gravesen 3 or 4 times, actually. Just stay on his feet.
Thomas Gravesen, the Danish midfielder.
That was a pretty bad challenge, the first one. And then there was another little tap on the leg, I think, as he went by.
So 11 minutes here in the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in the classic Real Madrid against Barcelona. Madrid taking a 6-minute lead through Zinedine Zidane, heading home from close range. Held over by Xavi, and that did not miss by much. In fact, Casillas had to tip it over.
There's Marquez, this is what we're saying. Dangerous for them balls.
Referee's given the goal kick.
Maybe. It's a strange decision. Have a look. Maybe someone's offside.
Offside. And that hits the top of the bar. Yeah. Well, I bet that must have hit the top of the bar.
Yeah, it did. I don't think Casillas got a touch on that. It's actually the right. I think that's the right decision.
I think he had it covered, Casillas, but top of the bar. Little warning there for Madrid that there's still a long way to go in this game. Of course, they took the lead last year when they ended up losing 2-1. Santiago Solari putting them ahead. Here's Eto'o to Ronaldinho. Robbed by Gravesen.
To be honest, I thought both of them were just scared of Gravesen.
Yeah, just half asleep, both of them as well. Beckham spreading it out to Ronaldo. Here's Ronaldo looking to take on Puyol. There is Puyol typifying the commitment of this Barcelona side.
To be honest, I think Beckham chose the wrong player. I think Michael Owen was peeling right, and he went left to Ronaldo. Not the right decision, I don't think.
Yeah, I think if they were playing in the white shirt of England, they may have given it straight to Owen there. Eto'o trying to crowd him out there, the Madrid defence, but Samuel Eto'o lining it up, deflected, and just bouncing kindly for Iker Casillas. Barca just getting back into this game, aren't they?
Very definitely. But they're also looking rather open at the back when they do push forward. But they've made 3 or 4 things happen in the last couple of minutes, and well, they look the better side at the moment. But you know, they're 1-0 down. And Gravesen is really flying in. I just wonder if I wonder if maybe he's thinking to himself, I'm going to fly in until I get the card. Then I'll worry about being careful, rather than starting being careful. You know, then you throw your opponents off their stride.
It was like we were saying about Samuel in Getafe. We're saying, like an Argentinian, he plays until the first booking. Actually, in that game, Samuel played until really should have been booked about 5 times.
Yeah, but of course that's the gamble you take, isn't it? You know, if the referee lets you off one, then you live to fight until
you got
the
another
next
chance.
booking.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Gravesen is really flying in. I think there's a role there, not just in terms of football, but also in terms of trying to intimidate Barcelona. And
Exactly.
over on the far side between Ronaldinho and Samuel Eto'o, it looked like it worked a little bit. I thought both of them slightly pulled out.
It isn't like Ronaldinho to pull out, I think, because he's a big, powerful lad himself. The Marquez dispossessed Xavi, just putting a calming foot on the ball. Decent pass out from Oleguer. Is Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, who scored Barca's late league equaliser against Betis last weekend. Betis did the good they did themselves in the Camp Nou by drawing only 2-2 at home to Levante today. Levante, who will be Madrid's next rivals next weekend. Despite the worries of some of you, we will be back in action next week. We will be in the Vicente Calderón on Saturday night to see Atletico Madrid take on Espanyol in a game that is a big one in the battle for places in Europe next season. Ronaldinho, Eto'o, Iniesta to Xavi. He's got Giovanni on the overlap. This is better from Barcelona. Not a great ball for Giovanni there. Found Ronaldinho, I think more by luck than judgment. Ronaldinho thought about it, but misunderstanding. Xavi, ball's cleared. Michael Owen bringing the ball back, looking for the return pass here. Michael Owen is ever so dangerous. The England striker just checks inside Oleguer, picks out Ronaldo, works himself space. Ronaldo thinks about the shot. Instead he opens it out to Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos! What was he doing? You would have expected him to wallop that one.
Yeah, and I think the fans expected exactly that as well. They really did. And Ronaldo had 2 or 3 options. He could have played Owen back in, could have played Raul in. Actually did very, very well. Very, very cool head to Roberto Carlos. And yeah, what was he thinking?
Just tried. I think if Roberto Carlos had walloped that one, you'd have been expecting Valdés to pick that one out the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh,
what a terrible miss.
That was a great chance there, Michael Owen.
No, it was Helguera. It was Helguera who actually got the header. Oof.
Well, so far, the game is living up to expectations in terms of excitement. 15 minutes gone. It's 1-0 to Real Madrid. Zinedine Zidane putting his side ahead on 6 minutes. But we could have seen more goals here in the Bernabeu. Barca could have had one. They've hit the top of the bar. Roberto Carlos really should have put Madrid 2 ahead a second ago. It's Samuel Eto'o, man who's managed to score 3 goals in his last 2 visits to the Bernabeu. Xavi. Well in there, Pavon. Now Zidane. There's almost no midfield in this game, is it? It's attack to attack.
Well,
munching in there, Giovanni.
There's absolutely no doubt that he got the ball. I mean, I think there was quite a lot of, let's say, hip contact with Michel Salgado, but there's no doubt that he got the ball as well. Although, that's what I heard.
It's a second foot, isn't it? That just
he takes Salgado with him.
He's given the free kick, the referee, but he's not booked him, which is, I think, a fair decision. Helguera taking it, looking for the early one. Owen battling there with Puyol. Valdés, that ball's not going to come into the area. He has to clear it long. Victor Valdés. It's the high, hard one there to Helguera.
Yeah, very, very well spun down so coolly from such distance.
And there's a bit of a wind as well at the moment. There's a swirling sort of wind blowing around all day. Madrid, it's a nice sunny afternoon. It's been a sunny day actually, but it is a bit windy. Oleguer. back with Xavi. Iniesta just trying to get his subtle football working in that deep role. Marquez. Cross to Eto'o, he's got Belletti with him. Here's a decent ball to Belletti. Looks up, Belletti! Too far for Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Ronaldinho was then caught, wasn't he? He didn't know whether to carry on chasing it or just to put his foot up in the hope that he could reach it. Went for the second of the two options. Didn't quite go for it, and then had to go back for the ball, try and stop it going out of play. By then, he had no chance at all. Michael Owen's movement's been very good coming off the front.
It's confidence, isn't it? Here is Zidane. There's Ronaldo not getting the ball though. Belletti in there earlier. Just gets there before his fellow countryman. Eto'o. Xavi. Ronaldinho. Can he work a bit of magic, Ronaldinho? He's been lacking a wee bit in recent games. Something tells me if somebody's lost 4 pounds in weight over the last 4 or 5 days, he's going to struggle to really be at his best today. Salgado. Pavon. A little bit of space there in the middle for Beckham. Ronaldo. This is good stuff from both sides. It's Beckham again, spreading it to Ronaldo. Good movement there from the Brazilian. He fancies chances taking on Oleguer. It is Ronaldo. Ooh, a little bit lucky there to get away with it, Oleguer. In fact, he didn't get away with it. Free kick, says the referee.
I'm just wondering, trying to think back to Atletico against Zaragoza game, whether we had the same referee. Because we've already seen him get in the way 2 or 3 times tonight. His positioning's not been that great.
I think that's a poor decision looking at the replay. I think it's Giovanni, is it, who gets that? Actually, looks like he got the ball.
Great bit of skill from Gravison before. It's not really his role, but he's.
There's Beckham. It's good to see his hair growing back, isn't it?
I wouldn't be that surprised. I think they're going to load the penalty spot here. They're going to put 3 or 4 in there.
I wonder if Beckham might have got the near post here. Flicks that one in, easy, 2-0. Dreadful defending there, and it is number 13 for Ronaldo.
Well, it's the second time on that far post that Real Madrid have been completely alone.
Well, Barca, they played some neat stuff in attack, but really they have defended like a team of amateurs, and I tell you something.
2 of them, they were so worried about Alguera. 2 of them went to Alguera. Ronaldo with Zidane stood right. Belletti's in the front, not quite sure why. I wonder if that was Ronaldo put down, but that's just too easy, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And I tell you what, it's a vital thing. 2 goals to Madrid already. That 3-0 all of a sudden is not looking very far away.
No, it's not looking at all far away, is it?
They just look fragile, Barca, don't they?
Well, psychologically, they're going to be very fragile now, all 4.
I think probably that if you were a neutral, you'd be looking to see Barcelona score a goal now, just to give it a little bit more emotion. They've come close on a couple of occasions, not yet arrived, and every time Madrid have really put a serious ball into the box, they've created really clear chances.
Yeah, they have, and Barca have looked horribly, horribly open on that back post.
Yeah, you wouldn't be giving Belletti many. It really should be the fullback's job to close in on that far post. You wouldn't be giving him many marks out of 10 so far.
No.
It really was abysmal defending, though. Ronaldo hasn't scored since the 5th of March, scoring his 13th league goal of the season. I have to say, though, I didn't think it was a foul to begin with. Here's Barca. Eto'o looking to set in Iniesta.
Iniesta just didn't see it, did he? There's one of the things he's
playing a bit deeper than
exactly.
he's used to, isn't he?
He's very good at stringing the players together. He doesn't really push on that much.
Well, to be fair, we've seen him miss a handful of chances this season when he's been on the pitch. Xavi. Barca really needing to pick themselves up now. 2-0 down after only 20 minutes in the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. Iniesta to Xavi. Eto'o. It's a bit of a nothing header there, Roberto Carlos. Madrid playing pretty little triangles in front of their penalty area. I'm sure Rico won't be that happy to see that. Referee penalising Gio. Bundling over Michael Owen there. I'm seeing Barca just look as if they're walking a bit. Yeah, Ronaldo, well robbed though by Xavi. Xavi Hernandez to Samuel Eto'o, being followed by a lot by Gravison, isn't he, Eto'o? Here is Samuel Eto'o again. Good tackle by Pavon. Xavi, probably the pick of the bunch for Barca so far. Ronaldinho. Having a bit of a swipe at him.
Yeah, Covison has really gone in a few times.
And looking for Ronaldo with that long pass cut out by Puyol to Belletti. Tackling there by Raul. Got a bit to prove today, Raul. He's all season, playing in more of a midfield role today. He's been struggling all week with an internet problem. Splitting that one to Raul. Helguera. Nearly getting a foot in there. Xavi. Back to Puyol. Valdés. Not been a happy afternoon so far for Victor Valdés. He's not made a save and he's had to pick the ball out of his net on 2 occasions. First time was a far post header from Zinedine Zidane, who came in unmarked, and the second on 19 minutes. Another unmarked far post header from Ronaldo. Eto'o lets it run. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst picks up the loose ball, thinks about the shot, deflected off Helguera, and that is a corner for Barcelona. Marquez flicks that one on, and easy for Casillas.
I was very surprised how much room Marquez had to take that.
Just thinking about it, it's almost like if this was a boxing game, you would say Barca probably had the most punches, but they've punched like a flyweight. Yeah. Whereas Madrid have landed 2 heavyweight punches in there, and Barca are reeling. Puyol across quickly to deny Beckham. Leaving it for Roberto Carlos. In case you joined here late, you were here live in high definition on World Sport. There's 25 minutes gone of the Classic, and the scoreline is Real Madrid 2, FC Barcelona 0. Tremendous start from Real Madrid, whereas Barca just looked a little bit fragile, both in front of their goal, and it has to be said in front of Madrid's goal, because they've created chances. Ronaldinho just bundled off the ball there by Salgado. A little bit lucky, I think, to get the free kick.
Yeah, I think so. Barcelona, more than anything else, what they've done is they've found themselves in quite good positions around the Madrid box. They just haven't delivered that last ball particularly well. And at the back, they look horribly weak, to be honest.
Puyol. Pavon, Helguera. Raul, there's a good flick on there. Puyol back to Valdés. Just flicked on there, but picked up in midfield by Madrid again. It's David Beckham. Is he bundled over by Xavi? Referee says yes. Takes it quickly, Beckham. Good thinking. Ronaldo. Trying to work his way through there, Ronaldo. 4 Barcelona players around him. Puyol bringing it out. No width there. Nowhere for him to open the ball up to, though. Marquez. Xavi to Ronaldinho's, yet to make an impact, the Brazilian. As is this man here, Andres Iniesta, for all his obvious abilities. So this pass to Belletti. Giuliano Belletti curling the ball across, but if you're aiming for Juli, I forgot Juli was on the pitch actually.
Juli's spent a lot of the half drifting a long way inside. He's not played very wide. He's trying to come in on the diagonal behind Eto'o. Sometimes dropping in the kind of position that Xavi and Iniesta would normally be in, but he hasn't had very much luck with the ball.
He's been leaving the room for Belletti to sort of look up this wing, but I really don't see it. Ravison. Well, the referee bringing the crowd in front of us to their feet with that decision. Well, I think correct decision, it has to be said.
Just pushing, quite basically.
That's a lovely ball from Ronaldinho, but
Great challenge,
Michael Owen in defence, and that was a vital tackle.
That's a very good challenge from Michael Owen. Quite sure what he was doing back there, but
he's getting back tackling. Ronaldinho not really got anywhere to go. Got Beckham in front of him, gets the cross in, but well read by Roberto Carlos, cleared to Oleguer. Xavi, back to Puyol. Basically recovered from an ankle injury that normally takes 3 weeks to recover from in 10 days to be fit for this game.
Which I think underlines the fact that he probably isn't completely fit.
I think after watching last week's defensive performance, Eto'o burst to Samuel Eto'o!
Oh, what a goal! What a fabulous goal.
Samuel Eto'o! They must hate the sight of him here in the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, because every time he turns up, Eto'o hits the back of the Madrid net, and that is probably what the neutral fan would have wanted to see. Certainly what the Madrid fans wanted to see.
What a fabulous goal. And I tell you, it's a fabulous goal, not because he's done anything particularly clever. This is just sheer willpower. Look, first pass is his. Then he dashes on here. It's just willpower through the middle.
That's a great little finish.
Great finish. I mean, it's Alguera and Roberto Carlos right. See, Roberto Carlos throws an arm out here to try and stop him, and he just can't.
Bursting through there, because probably no bad thing for Roberto Carlos that he didn't actually bring him down, because that would probably have been a red card challenge.
Yeah, I think so, because he did. I think he realised that Eto'o was getting away, and he just threw his left arm out slightly, trying to check his stride, whatever. To be honest, from the angle we're at, I thought Casillas was going to get there first, and Samuel Eto'o did really well
so
to
quick.
toe poke it past him. What a game we've got on our hands.
Well,
fabulous.
And Helguera just wide that. I've got my Eto'o statistics written down here in my reams of notes.
Paul, that is the 1,000th goal that Real Madrid have conceded at the Santiago Bernabeu, and they've conceded to Samuel Eto'o, of all the people.
That is Samuel Eto'o's 9th goal against Real Madrid. He scored 2 against them in the league in 2002. He scored 1 against them in the Super Cup. He scored 2 against them in the Copa del Rey in the same season. He scored twice as they won here. Gave you Miriam from World Sports. 3-2, well, as a Mallorca player, that is. And he scored against them in the Camp Nou. They must... And Madrid could have had him on their books for nothing. Ronaldinho, Giovanni. All of a sudden, Barca! And how close was he to getting on the end of that one?
Well, I'll tell you the answer to that. He was very, very close to getting on the end of it. Very close indeed, Samuel Eto'o, to get on the end of that.
Well,
in the end, it was Roberto Carlos, but
Barcelona, they look to be groggy. As it is, though, Eto'o's put them straight back in the game on 28 minutes. The ball's hung in there, and Zidane clearing it long. Something tells me, though, Sid, that 2-1 is not going to be the final score tonight.
No, I'd be tempted to say that both sides will score again. As you said, I mean, you said this really quite early in the game, and it's only modified to a limited extent. It's still a game without midfield. It's two sides pouring forward.
Just really going for it.
That's a great
acres of space there for Juli. Ludovic Juli looking to take on Pavon. Great tackle from Pavon. Against the player was a lot quicker than he is. It is Belletti now. Giuliano Belletti curls it in. Eto'o gets on the end of it. And that is easy for Casillas.
I mean, Eto'o just couldn't get enough power in it, could he? But
Belletti and his left foot couldn't really drag the ball across hard enough there. 31 minutes in the Bernabeu. Referee giving the free kick there for a push on Michael Owen. Real Madrid 2 goals from Zinedine Zidane and Ronaldo, and Samuel Eto'o just a couple of minutes ago using all his poacher's instinct to sneak through the Madrid defence and toe poke past Iker Casillas. What a game we have got on our hands. Zidane. Lots of space on the right. Beckham curls the ball across. Oleguer! Goodness gracious, Puyol. Oleguer's able to half clear it, not particularly well. Gravison wallops that one over the bar. Excuse me while I just have an intake of breath. Goodness, good grief. That was dreadful defending from Oleguer, if I may comment.
It was. And
curled in from Beckham, and Oleguer, whoops, missing that. Oh, lordy.
I tell you, I mean, can't quite see him in the screen, but one of the other interesting things about that was that Ivan Helguera was pretty much alongside Michael Owen.
Juli's through now. Ludovic Juli, can he finish? Oh, just wide. I've seen him put those in, though. Normally he gets a little bit of a curl on those.
Yeah. I actually thought he should have carried on in a little bit. He's just running slightly wide of him, but I think he had time to carry on a little bit.
He's quick enough, isn't he?
Yeah. Just wide in post.
But to be honest, it could be 5-4 at the moment, couldn't it? As it is, there's the shot count: 7 for Madrid, 8 for Barca, and it just feels like a lot more.
That's not bad.
Beckham again. Can Barca defend the far post this time? Belletti does get there. Valdés. Oh, good bowling action there. He could probably play cricket if he wanted to. Zidane just...
I think that's very, very unlucky. Zidane.
It always gets given in Spain.
It always gets given, but I think he's very unlucky. It's the old shoulder to shoulder, which in theory is fine.
Yeah.
Although
maybe just goes a little bit diagonally.
On the replay, it does look a little harder than the first time. But, you know, again, in theory, shoulder contact is absolutely fine.
There's Ronaldinho.
So neither side can be at all comfortable at the moment.
I say it's a game for the neutral, isn't it? You know, I'm sure both sets of loyal fans are watching this go through the fingers.
Yeah, through the fingers and with very, very gritted teeth.
Yeah, I can enjoy this because I think Bilbao won yesterday. As it Hull City this afternoon, you mean? By the way, I'd like to say thanks. I was just looking at the Satellite Guys website. Thank Ilya for the commentary he wrote yesterday. They were very nice to read. Thank you very much. I was touched to read them. I really mean that. And hopefully, though, we will be here at least until the end of the month. As I say, we'll be in the Calderon next weekend. That's planned. And the week after, we'll be back here to see Madrid take on Villarreal. Belletti, Marquez blocked. I bet that's done by Elguera. Samuel Eto'o, Barca laying a bit of a siege to the Madrid goal since Eto'o pulled one back. There is Eto'o, cleared again. As far as Michael Owen holds up the ball intelligently. Owen to his England teammate David Beckham. Decent ball along the line from Beckham, looking for Zidane. It would have been a decent ball if it had actually been not cut out for the throw-in.
The idea was right.
Decent idea.
And it was the idea that really was born in Zidane's head rather than Beckham's, in that he was steaming across, calling for it. Beckham tried the right pass, it just didn't come off for it.
It's Belletti yet to put up a really decent cross there. This time it's blocked by Ronaldo. Not often you see Ronaldo defending that deep.
No, and in some ways I'm not sure Madrid will want to see him defending that deep.
Probably looking at him, you know, he's not going to have 90 minutes of explosive power in him, so you don't want him to waste it all there. You want him on the halfway line. Once again, Elguera getting up there.
He's had a very, very good second half of the season.
Struggled a bit with ankle problems earlier on, I think. Andres Iniesta, trying to weave a bit of magic, getting into the box there, but once again, just too many Madrid players around him, and Thomas Gravesen.
Iniesta just bounces off him, doesn't he?
I wonder how well he bounced off, and now Iniesta on the ground now. Owen clearing the ball sportingly so he can get some treatment. And that is Andres Iniesta. Let's have a look.
I don't think there's anything there, to be honest.
I mean, just basically,
his face,
it's a little hand-off, isn't it? I mean, I think you see that in rugby or American football every week, and people don't roll around crying. They have got helmets in American football, I suppose.
It's not quite the same thing. I don't suppose Andres Iniesta is wearing...
He still looks as if he should get more iron in his diet.
He does.
36 minutes here in the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, and
what a 30. I think in terms of creation of play, Barca have been the better side, but they've just looked so open. And every time, actually, to be fair to him, particularly every time David Beckham's got the ball deep, he's looked up and he's seen so much space and room to release players. And when those players are as quick as Michael Owen and Ronaldo, you're going to get in trouble.
I was thinking actually about all the chances in the attacking play there's been. I don't think either goalkeeper has made a save as such.
Because I think what there's been is, rather than clear-cut chances that have required saves, there's been lots of good positions, lots of not quite getting theirs, rather than actual chances.
Valdés clearing up the crowd here. 36.5 minutes here in the Bernabeu. Madrid 2-1 up thanks to goals from Zidane and Ronaldo. His first goal since the 5th of March, but Samuel Eto'o, who else with his 22nd goal of the season, bringing Barca right back into the game. Once again, Samuel Eto'o looking for the ball for Juli. Well cut out though by Pavon. Ronaldinho spreading it across to Belletti. Gets away with a slightly slack control, Belletti. taking on Roberto Carlos, gives it to Xavi. Ronaldinho trying to work a little space there. Ronaldinho back to Eto'o. Xavi, will he think about the spot? Shot no to Belletti, crossed over. Rui, brilliant defending on the far post there from Salgado.
Yeah,
Salgado did there what the Barca defence didn't do on the 2 Madrid goals.
Yeah,
got there. Great defensive header. Curled over, Marquez nearly gets the flick on as it is. Gravison clears it to Michael Owen. He's picked up all those loose balls, hasn't he, Owen?
Yeah. Particularly coming in on the Madrid right-hand side. Barcelona have a disadvantage when they go up for corners and stuff like that, though, because fundamentally, Marquez is the only person who's going to get to them. So Madrid can effectively double team him, which is something that Barcelona tried to do to Ivan Helguera, and they left Ronaldo. Bartos is not really the guy you want to leave alone, is he?
No, I mean, most of his goals he does score with his feet, but he's a big lad, and he just showed there, you know. Most people would have put that header away, but he really wanted that Ronaldo, didn't he? It's Raul.
And there's lots of
room for Juli again. He's got Eto'o storming through the middle. He's against Helguera. Eto'o still getting into space. Juli! Ronaldinho. Poor control from Ronaldinho. He's lucky to get there. Turns back on himself.
Great ball.
Here's Juli. Lines it up, Juli over the bar. That's a wasted attack there from Barcelona.
It certainly is. It's a dreadful waste. You just wonder as well, I mean, Eto'o was storming through the middle. Pavon gave him a little check to make sure he couldn't get through. And if he'd just been released earlier, as it is, Juli made a bit of a mess of it. Then Ronaldinho made a mess of it, but made amends, pulled it back, got it to Juli, and it's a very, very disappointing shot from Juli. I'm not sure what's going on. I wonder if Raul's still bleeding because the referee seems to be telling him to go off the pitch.
Yeah. God dear, he's got a heck of a bump there on his eyelid, hasn't he? Something to remember the game by.
Or not. I wonder if Cassie might forget this whole thing.
See the assistant just cutting a new piece of back. Oh dear. He looks as if he's really been through the walls, isn't he? There?
It's a strip, isn't it, to hold it in place.
Now he's bleeding, just bleeding just at the corner of his eye. Because if you are bleeding, you can't stay on the pitch. Belletti, Xavi. Samuel Eto'o. To Belletti. Seen a lot of the ball in the last 15 minutes, Giuliano Belletti. He would have been happier if he'd done a bit more with it. And Raul storming back onto the pitch. Just making Iniesta hurry. Good defending from Madrid. They're looking very organised. Right in those two defensive lines, letting the strikers close down the man on the ball. Now Ronaldo just using his body against Belletti. He's got a bit more body than Belletti. Juli into the area. Ludovic Juli! Casillas!
Great save from Casillas.
Saint Iker, as they call him here.
Well, I'm looking at my notes from the chances, Barcelona, and I've got 30 minutes, 32, 33, 34, 38, 39, 40, which I think tells us everything we need to know about the way this game is twisting. But Barcelona will be really, really disappointed that they haven't put any of these away. That was probably the best chance of the lot, and Juli did all the right things until the shot.
It wasn't a bad shot.
It wasn't even a bad shot, no, but he did all the right things until the shot. And I think that, you know, the disappointment will be there that they haven't scored again. But if they go into half time like this, I think Frank Rijkaard will probably tell his players,
keep it up, lads.
Just do the same.
Tighten up a bit at the back. Iniesta. It's again Ludovic Juli. To be fair,
he's been really lively. That's what he's been. He hasn't used the ball very well.
Well, last week against Betis he was lively as well, wasn't he? But he just didn't quite finish it. I mean, if he had a good game against Betis, Barca could have won that game. Yeah. Basically, Eto'o. Looking for the foul there, Eto'o. Referee's not interested in giving it though. Allowing Madrid to break out defence, and here's David Beckham against Xavi. Looks inside to Ronaldo. Back to Beckham, chips it inside for Thomas Gravison. A bit loose there. Just caught Roberto Carlos rather than make a bad pass, just caught him just slightly off balance. And there's Xavi and Belletti getting the ball off Zidane. Not so much as Zidane. He scored the opening goal, but he's been a bit peripheral, hasn't he? Eto'o. Lovely pass to Iniesta. There's Giovanni storming through. If he looks up, Ronaldinho went for glory though.
Yeah.
Still with Xavi. Xavi Hernandez cutting back, looks up. Great ball in there for Iniesta. He's won it. Giovanni! Casillas saves again. Well, he doesn't get paid like a Galactico Iker Casillas, but goodness gracious, he should though.
That's a great pass. And Giovanni Van Bronckhorst should have scored. It's a good save, though. It is a good save, but he should have scored. What a game this is.
All of a sudden, the last 15 minutes, the Bernabeu, they're winning against Barca. It's been very quiet.
Well, because they're nervous, aren't they? Again, you see, it was Marquez. He's the only person they can aim for from corners.
Eto'o! Once again, saved by Casillas, although that was a little bit easier. Gives it to Zidane. Sending it Zidane. Going through the middle, obstruction there by Iniesta. Not the most subtle obstruction you'll see. Is the referee going to book him?
Right.
He's very off. Look at him. Oh, he is. Oh, he's just a little word with him there. I think he was a bit lucky there, Iniesta, to get away without being booked. Minute and a half of normal time here in the Bernabeu. It's still Madrid 2, Barcelona 1, but Barca will be ruining a string of missed chances in this last 10 minutes.
They certainly will. They certainly will. So, I mean, that list just grows longer. Almost by the minute, Barca are getting chances.
Giovanni doing well there.
It's a great ball as
Eto'o,
well.
Samuel Eto'o, he's got Grabberson ahead of him. I'm sure Eto'o will use his pace here. Elguera tries once. Eto'o taking on Grabberson. Finds Julie, that's a great run. Oh, brilliant challenge there at the end, and is that going to go? Oh, he's a bit lucky there, Casillas, I think.
I think Casillas might be a little bit lucky, yeah.
Man, I think Julie's going over saying, yeah, fair enough. Yet another counter-attack from Barcelona.
It's a great idea from Julie. It's a brilliant challenge. It's David Beckham. We've seen Beckham and Owen play.
No, I tell you what, he never has the ball under control there, Casillas. Let's have a look at this. He never has two hands on that ball. He never has it. No.
As it turns out, I think when Eto'o got back in, he moved it away from the goal and Grabberson got in. But just a catalogue of chances for Barcelona in the last 15 minutes.
Michael Owen. Think about that about Madrid is you miss a catalogue against chances, and someone like Michael Owen pops up.
Oh,
great challenge from Puyol, though.
It really is.
And makes it 3-1. I was going to say. Belletti just
fell rather easily, didn't he? And there is a foul, but he fell rather easily. Wow, what a half we've had. What a half we've had. And you look at these two teams, and it would confirm, despite the scoreline, it would confirm, what the league table shows, wouldn't it? That one team has, to be honest, played nearly all the football.
Oh yeah, definitely. But so far, Real Madrid are winning on the night. 2-0 to Madrid, but Barca, goodness gracious, how many chances did they want? For a team that we talk about their attacking talent, to actually waste so many chances is terrible. We've got 2 minutes of extra time.
Well, I mean, I think they've been unlucky in the sense that the ball, and this is going to sound absolutely absurd, they've been unlucky in the sense that the ball too often has fallen to Ronaldinho. And he has turned back and turned himself into trouble too many times, whereas Eto'o goes on and makes things happen. With Ronaldinho, it has turned into trouble too often.
It's Ronaldo. Looking to take on Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. Ronaldo. Score of Madrid's second goal, turning inside. Iniesta chasing him back. Space in the middle of the park. Well, big surprise there. Lots of room for Roberto Carlos. Trying to storm past Belletti. Crosses it round. 3-1. Well, we said that Madrid could score any minute, and that could be a killer goal. And I have to say, a bit cruel for Barca, but how happy are they in the Bernabeu?
Unbelievable.
Raul, who's been pretty rubbish all game.
Unbelievable. How on earth does that happen? Yeah, I mean, Barca have made all the running. Roberto Carlos was just too quick, wasn't he? Raul was there first, and it sneaked through Valdés. Oh dear.
Well,
I'm not sure that didn't actually go in off Valdés.
Well, another player who's had to put up with the criticism over the last few weeks, Raul, but the big games are when the stars come out. He certainly had a pretty intense 45 minutes, the Madrid captain.
Well, the Madrid fans are singing "This is the way Madrid win." Well, it's probably not the thing they want to sing, because the reality is that Barca
basically for the last 20 minutes have been played off the park,
yeah.
and yet
the very
last kick
last
of
kick
the
of the first half. Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Well, it's been an incredible half. It really has been an incredible half. I'm not sure what Samuel Eto'o's asking about, but my goodness, what a game of football we've seen. Quite how Madrid are winning.
Well, I don't know. I mean, basically, Barcelona have defended pretty poorly. I mean, Roberto Carlos had how much space did he have to advance in there as he put the ball across for that third goal? He really picked it up.